The Bitcoin price since 2008, over 18 years ago, has only spent 4.3% of its lifetime this cheap in this dark green box. That's just 241 out of a potential 5,841 days. But right now, fear and uncertainty continue to build around the Iran war situation. Whether the SpaceX IPO is going to put all the liquidity out the crypto market, and whether or not the Crypto Clarity Act will fail. Is this time different? Well, I believe that this is the hardest lesson to learn in crypto, and in the next 10 minutes I'm going to teach you how to beat it. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's get into today's video. Now, before we jump into this crazy Bitcoin power law chart that could just give us some clues about how long the Bitcoin and altcoin prices are likely to stick around at these current levels for, let's dive across and check out this Bitcoin chart, because I've literally just discovered something incredibly interesting about where the Bitcoin price is bouncing from as we speak. You see, just last week, the Bitcoin price hit all the way down to around $59,200. Back in early February, it hit around the same level, bottoming out in the high 59,000s. And if you draw the band across from where these two bounces happen, you can see where this demand zone originates. Now, I call it a demand zone because both times the fall of the Bitcoin price has been stopped in this area, showing you that there is demand coming in. There's obviously lots of selling happening, but the buyers come in and buy up all that selling pressure, which means that the price is stopped in that area. Now, jumping across to this side, you will see that this originates from the week commencing the 7th of October 2024, and this is a very significant week for us. You see, the Bitcoin price went up nearly 84.5% in just a couple of months. And many of you who were around back then will be saying, well, yeah, that's because Donald Trump won the election. He was supposed to be the pro-crypto president that everybody had been dreaming of. And that's fair enough, but remember, he won the election on the 4th or 5th of November, but really, the price had already risen from that low point nearly 20% before the election result got confirmed. So what happened in that week that is significant for us to see bounces happening in that exact same zone? Well, for those of you who are paying attention to what was going on in the US with regards to that election, you probably tuned in or at least heard news about Kamala Harris, President Trump's opponent, giving an interview on The View on the 8th of October 2024, nearly 1 3/4 months ago. Now, in that interview, she said something that she would live to forget. She said, when asked whether she would have done anything differently from Joe Biden, that nothing came to mind. That was a pretty bad thing to say, considering at the time the popularity of that then president was not particularly great. And from that moment on, Donald Trump began to start moving ahead in the run towards the White House. And if you go and listen to many political journalists out there, they will all confirm that when that interview went live was pretty much the nail in the coffin on her presidential campaign. So the fact that just around the moment that she had that interview and information started to flow that Donald Trump was likely going to win the presidency, you saw price begin to rally. And that makes this a very significant zone because there was demand for people wanting to buy in and around this zone, knowing that a pro-crypto president probably meant a Clarity Act coming in, probably meant a Bitcoin strategic fund, lots of other things. So it's interesting again to see buyers, and likely the same buyers, filling up bags once more at this price level. Now, let me know your thoughts down below on whether this is just a coincidence or something more interesting. And in my opinion, something more interesting is actually this, the Bitcoin Porkopolis power law. Great name. Sounds like some sort of a utopia for pigs, but this is a very important chart from Check on Chain, and it talks about the power law of Bitcoin over time. Now, we know that Bitcoin came around in 2008, and ever since then, it has been in this one elongated kind of upward cycle. Now, within that, you've had many bull markets and many bear markets, but each and every one of these is significantly higher than its predecessor, and that's because of the power law. Over time, more people get into Bitcoin, more people learn about it, more people start investing. You then start to introduce things like more developers, building out the whole ecosystem of crypto. You then start to introduce things like ETFs. You introduce MicroStrategy, buying up Bitcoin supply. You introduce a whole host of other things, like sovereign countries building up Bitcoin funds and lots of other things like that. Over time, Bitcoin has become more valuable, and we can see that in the charts. But what's interesting about this chart is what you see down below. Now, you'll see lots of different colors, and it shows you the percentage of time that the Bitcoin price spends at different levels on this power law. So effectively, the majority of the time is spent in this middle yellow zone, where you have the price kind of in line with expectation, given the kind of power that's been building over time with all that adoption, etc. Now and then it will run all the way up into this very deep red zone where it's massively overvalued, at which point you typically get brutal kind of sell-offs, and then it will start to return down to these green and dark green zones. Right now, you can see that the current price sits in the 4.3% quantile. What does this mean? It means that for just 4.3% of Bitcoin's entire lifetime, it has been this low before. And it's important to realize that is just 241 days out of a potential 5,841 days since the inception of Bitcoin, meaning that it's incredibly rare to see Bitcoin this low in any cycle. It hasn't been this low since when the FTX crash happened. And before that, it hasn't been this low since the 2019 COVID crash. And before that, you've got to go all the way back to 2017 to see any significant time spent down in these zones. And maybe, just maybe, this can give us a clue as to how long we're likely to see the Bitcoin price sticking in and around this zone for. Now, in order to do that, we can bring up the clusters that make up that 241 days spent in that dark green level of that chart. Now, in 2014 to 2015, there was 135 days where the Bitcoin price spent its time all the way down in the dark green area. That was around when Mt. Gox collapsed and everyone thought that crypto was completely dead. Lo and behold, the crypto market bounced back. 2018, 2019 then rolls around. We then see 75 days in the dark green. And that was called the crypto winter because Bitcoin and crypto came down very fast after that crazy blow off top bull run and then sat there for a very damn long time. Following that, we move into November 2022, where we see a 37-day bottom that happened after the FTX crash around the 7th of November 2022. After that, we then saw a climb into the new year of 2023. And there is one outlier, which is effectively the COVID crash that lasted for just 10 days down in that discount zone. That was the one that basically happened just before insane amounts of money were printed that blew up the entire 2021 crypto bull market. And here we are right now in 2026. We are now 18 to 20 days sat in that dark green level. And what we can see from these is basically decreasing numbers over time. Now, I've taken these into account, and if we were to follow the model that we've seen before, it means that we would only be spending 18 to 20 days down in this current dark green level. And since we've already been in and around this area for the last 8 or 9 days, maybe that can give us some clues on whether or not we're likely to bounce out of here in the next 7 to 10 days or so. But I get it. It's not that easy because we got lots of other things going on that we need to be paying attention to right now that could mess this whole thing up for us. I mean, we've got the war in the Middle East. Yes, Donald Trump said that it's over, but we've heard him say that before, only to then go back on his word a few days later. We've got the SpaceX IPO, which is supposed to happen later on today, and that's supposed to pull billions, if not trillions of dollars of liquidity out of the markets. That could destroy crypto. Yes, we got the Clarity Act that everyone's talking about, but no one believes that that's going to get signed, so it's likely that we're going to head down from here. And of course, on top of this, we've got the 4-year cycle. Of course, we're going to be bottoming later on in October. Let's forget this power law and let's forget everything else, because this is all aligning to tell us that things are not as rosy as they seem. And I get it. It all sounds very convincing. It's all very believable. And it's even more believable when we go and throw a chart into the mix. In fact, the chart amplifies how believable this is. Because we roll all the way back to the 5th of February when this catastrophic move happened, it sounded even louder, even more convincing. There was, however, a time when it didn't sound so convincing. And that time was over the past few months when the price started to move up to here. Now, during this time, I saw many people in the comment section, many people hitting me up on Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever it is, saying, should I buy in now or am I too late? Have I missed it? Everyone was becoming increasingly angry with themselves, saying that they wish that they bought in back at 60k. Lo and behold, price rolls up to here. Many people did buy in. Many people were then saying, well, if price ever gets back down towards those levels, I would definitely start to DCA in and buy in. Guess what? Price moves back down, and all of those reasons we shouldn't be buying in sound even more convincing once more. The people who said that they wish that they'd bought back at 60k up here then decided when they're back at 60k that they're going to wait for much lower prices later on. And this same pattern will continue to repeat. But what we got to think about for a moment is this. This chart represents everything that we all know right now. Now, I've already talked about the things that everyone's scared of, whether the SpaceX IPO is going to drag liquidity out the market, whether this war in the Middle East is going to end, whether the Clarity Act is going to pass. All of this information is condensed and presented to you right here on this chart. This is a combination of everybody's thinking and where everyone thinks we are right now. They think, as a whole, that the fair price of Bitcoin, right this second, is $63,800, taking into account all of the bad, negative, worrying things. This is very important because it means if more negativity and bad things actually become a reality, then yes, of course, price can come down here. But actually, since everyone is gearing towards the negative right now, any particularly positive information can bring us back out of here. And I want to completely throw away this Bitcoin chart to talk about this from another angle. And it's this. Just later on today, the SpaceX IPO, Elon Musk's company, is gonna have an IPO. It's gonna launch onto the stock market, giving you, me, and everybody else the freedom to go and buy into shares in one of the world's leading companies. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is associated with Tesla. We've seen IPOs like Tesla, Nvidia, Apple going absolutely crazy over the last few years. At least that's what we think, because when those companies actually floated, they didn't look particularly great. It was only later on that they saw massive gains. However, despite the fact that everyone has been investing in SpaceX since back in like 2003 at valuations starting around $27 million, no one has really realized just how high the price has climbed before this IPO has even begun. Everybody is stacking up, getting ready to go and buy into this IPO right now because it looks like a great idea. But if you go back and look through this chart, you'll see that this raising went on down at these levels. $1 billion came in here, $10 billion come in from Google down at this valuation. Now we're 17x up from that point, meaning that that Google investment is now worth $170 billion on this current IPO valuation. Now, whilst there's loads of retail who are desperate to go and buy in and whatever else, think about all of these people down here thinking about going and selling into the market. Right now, the masses are rushing to try and buy SpaceX at probably one of the worst points that you could buy it at. On the flip side, no one wants to buy crypto when Bitcoin is within a price range that it's only been in for 4% of its entire lifetime in the last 18 years. And this is the biggest, hardest, and worst lesson to learn in crypto. Because if you don't learn this lesson, you will continue to not buy in at lows, and you'll continue to try and wait for the perfect price, which never comes, which eventually causes you to buy in at the wrong time when everybody feels warm and fuzzy about buying into the markets. It typically is why everybody rushes to buy into crypto when crypto's already high. They don't want to buy it on a day like today. They want to buy it 6 months down the line when it's back above all-time highs. And this is just the way our mind works. We like to do what's safe, and it feels safe because we can see a pattern moving in the right direction, and everybody else is reinforcing that it must be a safe place to go. When nobody wants to go towards that safe place, it sounds like a dangerous, stupid idea. And it's made even harder by the people who've been in this game for a very long time. I'm talking about the market makers. I'm talking about the real institutional kind of money that comes in and buys the absolute rock bottoms and sells the absolute pico tops. And they're able to do this not only because they understand how markets work, they understand how the emotions of average traders work, and they also have the ability to impact sentiment by releasing key news articles at very important times. This is why the Fear and Greed Index and sentiment in general is probably one of the best indicators of all time in crypto, at least in the longer term. Now, because of how difficult all of this mind game is with when you should be buying in and when you should be selling, this is why 95% of people, and I'm not even making up that number, 95% of people don't make money in crypto. Because everybody is too zoomed in and looking for the perfect moment. They're following their emotion rather than completely sidelining their emotion and going against it to go towards the logic. So the key is to think like this. What are 95% of people in crypto doing right now? Do you think that they're aping in and buying the bottom of these scary charts? Or do you reckon they're getting ready to hit the button on that SpaceX IPO, ride it up 2 or 3x, and then take all their money out and then ape into Bitcoin on the 5th of October like everybody else is stacking up and ready to do? Or do you think that they're ignoring all the noise and buying into the Bitcoin price when there's fear about the Iran war and SpaceX pulling all the liquidity away and Clarity Act failing and the 4-year cycle and everything else? If there's one thing I've learned, and believe me, I've learned the hard way, is when you think that you're in line with what everybody else is doing in the market, you are in the wrong place. For those of you who've been subscribed to my channel over the past year or so, you will remember when we were talking about the M2 money supply and just how perfectly the Bitcoin price followed the M2 money supply. Do you remember that? When everyone was talking about how good it was that the Bitcoin price was following the M2 money supply, and it did. For a good 6 months or so, all of a sudden that decoupled. Right now, everyone wants to believe something else is going on and will choose to go and look for the information that's telling them that that exact same thing is going to play out. And believe me, it would be awesome if it did. If retail could get in buy-in at the exact bottom together, that would be the best win for crypto in general. But sadly, markets don't really work like that. So in general, here's my 2 cents. Buy today, don't buy today, I don't really care. Basically, I know that historically, people have always been much happier when they buy in this dark green box and they sell in this dark red box. Each and every time price is down, it feels like it's going to go lower. If the Bitcoin price crashed to 20k today, you know that people will be out there calling for 9k. Okay, I've seen it before. It happened all the way before. And the same, if the Bitcoin price suddenly shot to 150 grand tomorrow, people would be calling for 200 the next day. You know, this always is the case. My only job in this market is to try and buy when no one else wants to buy, when it's nice and cheap. It doesn't have to be the exact cheapest price, but usually when you follow the sentiment, you can get in fairly low, and then to try and sell when everybody is screaming to buy. That's a lot more difficult than buying the bottom, in my opinion. Buying the bottom is easy once you've kind of built conviction in Bitcoin and any other altcoins that you've started to look into in more detail. And then once you've bought in, all your job is to wait for the price to move from this dark green box to the dark red box, not anticipating that it has to happen tomorrow, the next week, the next 6 months, whenever it is, okay? If you continuously buy when it's cheap and then continuously sell when it's expensive, you will often be in a far better place than 95% of people in this market. And just my final 2 cents on that SpaceX IPO, I do actually think that in the shorter term, it will continue to rally a little bit, because what you're going to see is people not getting full allocations and then maybe aping in any spare cash they've got. Market makers will be aware of that and they'll try and push more people to get into the market over the first day, maybe the first few days at least, but at some point the number of people who are willing to buy will be depleted, and then you will have those guys at the bottom who invested billions of dollars starting to get ready to cash out. And when that happens, the number of buyers can't support the sellers anymore and price comes down. As soon as people in retail start to lose money, and they eventually will, you're going to see price cascading aggressively lower. And that's maybe where you want to be gaining your entry, and historically where the best entries came for Teslas and whatever else. So when we come back to look at the Bitcoin prices right now, just think to ourselves, could it come back down to retest these levels at like 54, 55k? Well, if it did, that was like a 10% move from Bitcoin. And yes, you would see some pain in the alts. But actually in the short term, I think within the next week or so, we are going to be rebounding and starting to push up towards the end of June and looking much stronger into July. Likely that we could see a little bit of a pullback in and around August, but then I think we are home and dry and we're going to see much better times ahead. And that's based off of all the on-chain data, the macro, the sentiment across the market right now. And it's never made better sense that Bitcoin is at good value right now, and so are many altcoins, especially when you look at these others versus Bitcoin chart, which clearly has been in a bottoming pattern for over a year now. You can see that ever since like the 12th of January, it's basically been grinding higher against Bitcoin. And actually, whenever Bitcoin stabilizes and starts to push higher, we're going to be breaking out of this cut pattern for altcoins versus Bitcoin and at least rallying up towards this level. That would be a very substantial sell-off in the Bitcoin dominance and a very big push for altcoins, one that I want to be in the markets for. Next week, I'll talk more about altcoins, different altcoins that I'm starting to look into. I can review altcoins. Let me know down below any altcoins you want reviewed. Now, guys, if you want to go make the most and trade some of these moves, whether that's in stocks, crypto, wherever else, then make sure you go down below and sign up to WEEX. Because by signing up to WEEX, you can also gain access to our free trading group, which has full-time crypto traders in there giving signals and also educating people on trading the markets, etc. Now, these are some of the results that those traders have been having over the past few weeks, hitting various take profits despite a fairly choppy market. If you want to go and make some trades along with those guys, then make sure you join up to WEEX down there. We're going to have a limited time entry only for getting into that group to keep it nice and small and select. So if you want to get in, make sure you move fast. All you got to do is sign up for a WEEX account, deposit $50, and then you're going to be able to access that trading group. Guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, found it useful. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you very soon in another video.